it gets tough down there.
I even
live
heard
on the river.
at one time, I guess I better not give any names, but took him and they butchered him like a deer and then threw the parts,
my God,
in a barrel and put holes in the barrel and dumped him over the side.
Warning. The podcast you're about to listen to may contain graphic descriptions of violent assaults, murder, and adult language. Listener discretion is advised. Welcome to the Murder Police Podcast. Thank you for joining us as we continue to look into the missing person case of Timothy Sterner in the episodes we call Never Forget Little Timmy. In this episode, we continue our talk with Timmy's uncle, Terrance Sterner, and Timmy's grandmother, Sandy Sterner. The more you listen, the more you'll learn.
It's a shame on all parties of what's the consequences and that repercussions and everything of the whole situation that it could come down to.
Yeah,
from my
but
point
the
of view,
stories,
and the people that loved Timmy. And
you hear the story. Well, what's his face said, and I didn't even know Timmy smoked.
Yeah, Mom was like, "What?"
He never smoked. And somebody threw this pack. Somebody that murdered him threw this pack down when he walked in the door to this girl and said, "There, he won't be using these anymore." And then you hear a lot about the devil worship, and you hear this, and you hear innuendos, and you see these Facebook things that are just sent to me because I don't do Facebook. And you're going, you know what? You better just let the officers do their job. Because they can sort this out. When Ellen stepped in, she was like a hero. You know? And God bless her. Family's family, no matter what. And, she's worried about her own son.
Yeah.
And because these people, once they get by with something, and I don't know how many more they will hurt, or how many they've hurt before that nobody knows about.
Back to that misinformation, that makes it 10 times tough on a family, is all the garbage out there, and the armchair quarterbacks, and the people who have theories, and then they pose them out as being facts. And when you're in the position that you are in, where you want answers, that's just got to hurt even more.
And being me, it's just it hurts. It really does. Because it's like, the people that come to me and tell me something about the story or what happened to him, they come to me with fear and a cry in their eye and they're so sorry. And I'm like, you didn't do nothing, and, well, this is what happened. And I'm like, okay, well, here's the fourth story or fifth or sixth or seventh.
So
I think I'm down to about 8 stories now.
Very different. All of them are just...
some of them, at the most part, I've heard a lot of the body, mutilating the body part of mutilating the body, try to get rid of the body. I've heard lots of stories of that. And, it started off that he was in the river, and then it went that he was on the property, and you got the 7 acres there, and you got to think that they know everybody around them, and there's a lot of woods right there. You're down at the river. I mean, and it gets tough down there.
I even
live
heard
on the river.
At one time, I guess I better not give any names, but took him and they butchered him like a deer and then threw the parts,
my God,
in a barrel and put holes in the barrel and dumped him over the side. When you hear stuff like that, you're going, why are you coming and telling me this? What do you think detectives are for? Why do you think we have our officers? And God bless them, they're trying to do their job, and they're trying so hard, and everybody just keeps knocking them, and instead of saying, thank you for your service, sir.
When people make stuff up, the cops have to go through all of that. And that just makes it harder and it adds time. And it complicates everything if you get close on it.
Right.
Is that's the cruel part of it. And I've always wondered, because a lot of people just sit around and make that up. They think, and then I guess it makes them feel like they're somebody. But it complicates this whole process in a big way. It complicates it. Not to mention the first problem is the pain it causes to be a grandmother or an uncle or a father to hear stories that graphic. And again, you kind of want to meet the people that make that up.
Yeah. And people were going to Terrance.
And it's
everybody. He could be at my house mowing my lawn, and 15 people just keep showing up, wanting to know what was going on, wanting to know what he knew. And Terrance would say, I don't know anything.
Yeah, which I would stick with that.
Asking questions.
I do, because I do want to know, so I just sit back and listen.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And who knows why they're asking? I mean, somebody might be running interference.
See what you know. If you know the truth, they're checking what you know.
Tim was a big boy. It would have taken a lot of people, and I've even heard up to 6 of them.
Mm-hmm.
He's a pretty hefty boy. I mean, but
and Tim would have fought.
When you take the air from somebody's breath,
Oh, yeah, and that was another story. They got him into the car when he was trying to get away, and they had a bag over his head and smothered him. I said, even
that's the last story we heard. That's the story. I've heard that story, and that they burned him, and then they buried him because they couldn't burn the body because it stunk so bad. Yeah, but then
there was the other stories. Well,
which one?
They buried him in the house.
Under the house.
Yeah, under the house, under that porch, and then they put on a new floor, but then he got to stinking, so they couldn't stand the smell, so they unburied him and put cement on him, and then replaced the floor, and that's what's so hard to hear.
And you hear them things, and I'm thinking, well, who went to Home Depot or Lowe's and got this stuff to do this? You know? And it's not true, because that's not what happened.
Yeah. It's just hard to hear. It's hard to say, isn't it? It's hard to say.
So you think little Timmy went down there under the pretenses that these are his friends, right? He just reconnect with people?
He was going to reconnect with somebody.
No. That girl had him. She was the one to bring him to these guys.
So she invited
First they said he was nothing but a rat. But then there was this one girl that liked Timmy that the other boy was jealous of. But they kept saying he's a rat, and then it was jealousy. So it's hard telling, because Timmy, he was the one that was in jail for 8 years? Because he was 27.
Down there. He just didn't show up.
He was conned to get down there. That girl got him down there for these guys. And that is relatives to, because I'd even texted him on that day, and I said, we'll have a talk, this week sometime. And he said, as soon as I get all this stuff done, Grandma, because he was supposed to go see his probation officer and all that day. And that's why they were trying to get you to hurry up to get down there to see him.
You talked about having that feeling a week before, and so he goes missing and whatnot. Was there a point where y'all had a feeling like that he was no longer alive? Because I think that's where we're looking, is that you are looking at this.
Things when I come out that first day, it was raining real hard, and it was just a dreary day, and I was soaking wet, and I come out of that holler, and he wasn't down there, and nobody was giving me the right. Like I said earlier, A, B, C, nothing went, everybody was saying different stuff. And something gave me that feeling that he was gone. I didn't know where, what, or how yet, but the net, and and then I go out here in town and stuff like that. I don't know if I might be in Kroger, somebody want to stick me with a daggone knife in the back because I go hunting for whoever did that to Timmy. It ain't like that. I just want the closure with his body, and stuff like that. But, everybody has a price to pay for their own.
True. This is not a big town. And then when you get down to the holler and you get by the river, that's even
small.
tighter.
Yeah, it's very small. I live on.
Personally, I thought as soon as I knew that they all were saying that he was missing from another place, and we knew where he was at the time, so there was light. I thought, this is a big conspiracy. I don't know who's telling who, what, or who's listening, because it's all with them. They're big drug dealers too, and so it seems everybody that gets their drugs from them were protecting them, and then they would do all that stuff, and so I'm going, wow, just let the officers do.
Yeah, there's so many possibilities as to why, right? I mean, I'm just sitting there listening to you all that there's...
Well, he was in jail for 8 years. He wasn't a rat. And there were people brought up, and I'm saying, oh, my goodness.
And I live on urban. More than I get.
And that week when I felt that air go out, that's what my mother told me when they were rafting down the Colorado River. And the raft tipped over. She said, oh, what an easy death. I could have, She said, it was so peaceful. It was such, and yet she got pulled out of it, thank gosh. But that's what it reminded me of, was what my mother told me. How easy it is to all of a sudden the water comes in and that's, well, it was like a roller coaster. It goes and it comes out and you're gone.
First rumor I heard about little Timmy going in the river, that was the first rumor I heard. I mean, I don't know, but then I had people coming to me, had some people who want to stay close to me, people that don't stay close to me. And I let them get close to me so I could try to find something out. They're just as smart as I am. And it makes you you really got to watch yourself out here. Because the people that don't, they have nothing to do with you for 20 years. Then all of a sudden they're popping in your life. And then, you put them down on the dartboard and see what comes about it. And then the next day you spin the wheel. See what happens that day, And it's been, I put myself in some pretty dangerous positions. And
I warned him too.
I just want to find him. I want him brought home. And I don't care about the justice or anything. I just want him brought home for the family. I want that closure for the family because the family is really hurting. And it took a sterner. Okay, sure it ain't the first one, it won't be the last one. But it's the first one for us.
Horrible place to be.
It is. And you don't think about it when you see it on TV as much as until it happens to you. And you're having such a good day and somebody comes along and says, oh, and it just your whole day's like, yeah.
I think that's the thing too, is that people see it on TV. And one reason we wanted to sit down with you all is that when you see it on the news, if it makes the news, is eventually people just feel like numbers and statistics, and Timmy's more than a number and a statistic.
Exactly, and that's the way I've kind of felt here in the last few weeks, that he's just another statistics now. Sorry. But he isn't, and I see that with the bumper stickers and things like that. Somebody told me they've seen him in Versailles, they've seen him in Georgetown, and so we've had them bumper stickers. Don't forget little Timmy made, and Ellen, she did that for us, and we've got them out there. I see them on vehicles almost every day.
I saw it on hers yesterday.
And if you look around hard enough for the bumper stickers, they're out there. They got them on the sides of their trucks. My buddies put them on the sides of their trucks and stuff, and I know a lot of people, and them bumper stickers, we got to get some more made.
Yeah, for sure. And what they say again, don't forget about little Timmy.
Don't forget little Timmy.
Don't forget little Timmy. Gotcha.
And we've recorded, this is our third now missing person that we've recorded. And those two other families, they want that same thing. I mean, obviously they want justice, but they want their loved one back so they can have that closure. And these two mothers that we have recorded, they struggle with that. They just want answers. And it's really sad hearing the story because you're right, David, it's on the news and you just think, really, you just hear it and you kind of go on about your business and life as usual. And I've often said that when we've recorded domestic violence deaths, yes, they're sad, but it wasn't until I was sitting in the seat being interviewed by you on the domestic violence murder of my best friend that you think you're in that hot seat and you realize that that's real emotion that people have. And so our hope by doing this and interviewing people is that not only you all get little Timmy back, but that someone pays for what they've done. And somebody out there, probably more than one person, knows the story. And it's almost like you want to say you were big enough and bad enough to do it. So where's the big and bad to come forward and tell what you did? Yeah. Nobody's ever big enough for that.
I get that too. I get that in the public people because I'm like, why won't they come to me? Why won't they, people know me. And I mean, I could have probably run for jailer here and been jailer. That's how many people I know. And they like me. We live on the corner and Mom will tell you if I pull up out front, 15 people pull up with me. There's Terrance, there's Terrance, just pull up, hey, hi Terrance, how you doing? It's just on a given. And just that the whole thing is crazy to me. That
if you go to a store, you might as well figure out another 15 to a half an hour because he's going to be talking. Plus.
But it comes down again. This is a pretty tight knit community, which is I'm attracted to. Why I love working here.
She said something about justice, and I've grown. My mom's raised me well to believe that you will get your justice when you die. How you die and everything, that's, how it goes. But you will get justice in. It ain't me that's going to give you justice. It ain't the judge ain't going to give you justice. It's the man upstairs that's going to give you justice. And the biggest thing is you're going to give your own justice because you got to live with that every day. That's going to be your hell right there.
Right. And we can add too that, and I've said it before, I'll keep saying it, that if somebody has firsthand knowledge of what happened, even if they weren't immediately involved, they carry that weight of that justice as well for not coming forward. And that's what bothers me but I've met people who can do it, but if they're holding that in their heart and are carrying it on their shoulders, is you can walk into church every Sunday and Wednesday night and think you're grazed and everything, but that justice will fall on you for holding that and causing the pain that it does inside of a family.
It falls on your family, too, when you do.
Yes.
It does. Like I said earlier, the ripple effect, I really believe what I do falls in it. I'm 51 years old. It took me 51 years to realize it, kind of something like that, get mature or something. Is that what you call it, Mom? Grow up? But it's took me a while to understand that ripple effect. And then when I go to do something now, I think of the ripple effect. Okay, who's it going to affect? Me? Oh, no, when I cut that tree down, it's going to affect all the neighborhood.
That is part of growing up. And the other cases that Wendy's mentioning, that I think that what compounds the frustration is that, and this is not uncommon, you have last locations and last person seen with, which is a strong solvability thing, but it doesn't mean you're there.
You're right.
It's like, what's it take to get people to just talk? And I think that's the frustrating part because people know and they're walking among us. And it's that whole thing of, why are you holding on to that? And again, if they didn't witness it, they've been told by people that are reliable and not these rumors you've heard either. It'll be the real thing.
Yeah. Well, I've had some people that has come to me about little Timmy, and you can see it in their eyes. They really want to tell me something. But
they're afraid.
They're afraid to tell me something, or they're afraid that what I'll do or what the Justice Department will do. It's not what I'm not going to do nothing. But and I've been in places and they're looking at me like they could do to me what they did to little Timmy. And it gets hairy.
It is, yeah, but they can tip anonymously to get the ball rolling.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But even then, at some point, I think what people need to do is to show some empathy and put themselves in your shoes on what they would want. God forbid they were in that position.
That's a big word, David.
It is. It is. I know.
Yeah.
But the thing is that at some point, when you live this life and you walk among other people, you have an obligation to get courage and to come forward and participate.
Absolutely, and help the other.
That's it.
Help the other person out. And I'm a firm believer in that. As moms, I'm always like, the neighbors need their yard mowed. Well, it might not be my mower. I'll be on Mom's tractor. I'm on the whole neighborhood. And she's like, will you quit mowing the neighborhood with my mower? Empathy, Mom. Empathy.
I love it. But at the same time, I think that there's
My gas.
Yeah, exactly.
There we go. Exactly.
Common sense.
But people, I've always said, I get that it's scary, and sometimes it is, but most of the time I found when I would hear that, it really wasn't valid. It was the excuse. And but then again, let's think about it. If we're human beings and we walk amongst each other, sometimes you have to do scary things, and sometimes what people don't understand in a case like Timmy's is that people would just come forward with a deep breath and go woof and get it out there. The scary people would be away. It would be that quick. It wouldn't take long.
But drugs do so much.
Oh, sure. Sure.
Drugs do so much. And the way it is, that's the biggest, baddest thing of all, is all these drugs that they're on.
The love of money and drugs.
And it's just like, I don't understand why this Suboxone clinic, because I remember taking little Timmy, to counseling, and I got to go that time, and he wasn't on any drug medication. He was on for
ADHD.
Yeah. And she said, well, we could put you in a Suboxone thing. He said, why would I be taking one drug and then you all want to give me another drug and make it just as bad? And I'm going, wow, I heard that out of my grandson's mouth. I was never so proud of him. I said, boy, we got in that car and we had another long talk. And I said, I'm so proud of you for saying that. Because my twin told me one time, I said, I don't think I'm reaching him. And she said, oh, just keep talking. She said, you'll never know when something's going to snap in that little boy's head. And he'll hear you. And it'll be the right thing.
Anytime, he would run to Grandma's house. No matter what, he knew he was safe there.
Yeah. And I always talked about do unto others as you would. Please don't listen to the ones that are doing the bad. And
excuse me.
Anyway, this is the last letter he wrote me.
Oh, Mom, you're going to make me cry.
This is tough. But this will show you what he was thinking and mindset before.
Yeah.
And when was this written?
What is it?
October.
Around Dad's birthday, wasn't it?
No,
or his
that's
dad's
what
birthday.
The thing says. But anyway, this was the last one I got. So he said, well, and it's hard to understand his writing, but, well, I haven't wrote you in a while. Thought I would. Well, all is good. I was getting real stirred out in... Oh, she's getting out in 1 month. Dang, I've been doing time since I was 12 years old. All together, I've done about 14 years. 950 for in prison. That is real sad. And I'm almost 30 years old. Got none to show for it. Crazy. Been doing the wrong shit. But everyone can change. You just got to want to. It hurts me. We are not as close as we used to be, but I know every now and then your smile and think about old times and the stuff we used to talk about. I sit and think about you all the time, but I can't change the past, which I wish I could. But Grandma, I'm not ashamed of who I am, just what I've done. Grandma, I've been a hell of a man. You it right by me. Prison that made me, but prison has helped me. It helped me develop a sense in calmness and needed. Where I was in the street, I was hell on wheels, but I got it all out. I'm good, but I love you, Grandma. Really, really do. You know it. True, I miss you so. I wrote so needed it too. But just know I'm present ever, visit in morning. Oh, let my roots and all my Sterners family know I love them. Write me back. Love you. Love, Timmy Jr.
And somebody robbed him of the opportunity to keep growing his life and changing, didn't they? I think that's what kills me about that is that, you know, it sounds like he was maybe, like you said, Terrance, we grow up.
Yeah.
He was growing up.
Yeah.
And
Well, the same it was. And then his dad feels so bad because he could have taken Timmy in, but him and we knew that he had to get acclimated from prison to the outside.
Sure.
And that was very important.
You got to take your time and really look at the whole situation before you go jumping into it. I learned that the hard way.
And basically what little Timmy's saying, there's no blame on anybody. He takes that blame on himself and said he's going to be all right. But when you come out of prison that long, you have to have help.
Yeah, 7 or 8 years is a long time to be
yes,
right.
and you have to get acclimated to the outside.
Jordan, his cousin, he went.
That's where we wanted him to go.
Yeah, we wanted to go down to E-Town and be with him and let him acclimate him back into a halfway house and stuff like that. And I know things just went too fast for him, I guess. It's like getting on a bicycle and going so fast your first ride and getting the wobbles and breaking, you know.
That's a good analogy.
Yeah,
that makes a lot of sense.
Things were going so fast for him, he just didn't have time to keep up. I don't know. Thanks. I really do feel there'll be justice from this. I do. Something tells me there will be. But like I say, we just want closure. I would love just somebody say his body's right there. You can go dig it up. All right, see you later. I'll dig the body up. Just to have the closure.
That's what we're praying for with y'all.
I got to take myself out of situations because sometimes, golly, him and Josh. Josh, when we pulled up to a house I was working on the other day, Timmy had done something there, and my son just started crying. And I went to shut the door, and I seen he was crying. I opened the door and said, you know, me, I'm his dad. What's wrong with you? He said, no, Timmy. And he started telling me a story. I said, buddy, you're going to have to grow out of that. You better get thinking about working and get that paintbrush and get your butt in the house. And he's like, okay. So he's drying his eyes. He pulls himself together. But yeah, it takes a toll on him. It really does. It takes a toll on the whole family. And I feel sorry for my kids. Because little Timmy loved them. And, I mean, you should have seen him play. Mom's got video. And it's just, yeah, they was side by side all the time. And nobody messed with them. They never really messed with nobody else either. They just had their own fun. And I think, a lot of times there was people jealous of them because they did have things they wanted, the motorcycle or the nice clothes, the good shoes and the nice pants and stuff like that. Now, don't get me wrong, I wasn't raised that way. I had buddies and high waters on going to kindergarten with my pants pulled up around my boobies.
Plaid.
Yeah, plaid.
I'm
corduroy.
Picture
Corduroy.
Yeah, yeah.
Making
And
a lot
I think
of
my
noise
cousin
when you
in New York owned them.
There we go.
And but they but Mom made sure little Timmy wanted something because it was a fashion in school. She would go get that for him. And, you know, he'd come in from school and she'd be like, "Look what I got you, this shirt," you know, and it matched little Timmy. He liked it and he loved that stuff. And you'll learn from people. I'm going to have some other people get a hold of some other people, but y'all learned that how wonderful little Timmy really was. He would, my ex-wife, she screamed, "Oh, Timmy, would you please rub my feet?" And he wouldn't have to ask twice. He would be right in there. Bam. That's how lovable he was. I asked him once, I forgot about this. I said he was on a three-wheeler with me. We was going up down the creek behind Mom's house. And I seen something in the bank. The water's been rushing real hard the week before, so it washed some of the bank away. And little Timmy was I think he was on the back with me. And I seen that and I stopped and I'm looking at it and he's like, "What is it?" And I said, "Do you see that white thing in the bank right there?" I said, "Get it, little Timmy." Timmy says, he probably wasn't about 5 years old. He said, "I'll get wet." I said, "I don't care. Get off and get it." Mm-hmm. So he thought he's going to get in trouble by Grandma for getting wet. So he gets off and gets it. He gets back on the three-wheeler. I take this mortar shell, the whole mortar, and strap it to the front of that's what it was.
Oh, Lord.
Little Timmy's walking through the creek with it like this. Still the cap sticking out of it and everything.
Oh.
And so we get it out of there, you know, we strap it to the front of the three-wheeler and we pull you right up and down the creek. Well, I take it in and take hot water and soap and scrub all the paint off of it or the dirt, you know, so you can see the clean paint. Set it up in my windowsill and I got a trophy now. And so it was little Timmy's trophy actually. But here comes Grandma over one day and it was sitting on the counter because I'd cleaned the windowsill off. She's, "What is that?" "That's a mortar, Mom. Ain't you ever seen a mortar?" You know? And she's like, "You can't have that in here." Next thing I know, here comes Franker with a bomb squad up in my house. They're clearing the whole corner.
Oh, my house then. We carried over to my
So
house.
here comes little Timmy. "Where's that mortar at?" You talk to your grandma
We've
about
been
that.
playing with it.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
Lord.
that guy
The officer told us to leave the house and evacuate.
Oh,
My
yeah.
husband said, "I'm not leaving."
Yeah, Dad said, "I'm sitting right here if it goes off." He said, "It's
So
been
here
over here
comes
6
the
months.
bomb
I ain't
squad.
moving."
And
The
the
odds are with
officer
it.
goes outside, sits in his car out there far away.
Yeah.
And
He wouldn't even touch it.
Here comes
He
the
said-
bomb squad, and I'm walking right up to it like,
And you
here
got
it
to
is
think,
right. Don't
by now
touch it.
I've got
It was
5
live.
kids plus little Timmy and all the neighborhood kids running around. And Mom comes in and she's just like, and then here, "Clear the street." So Dad wasn't going to leave, so I wasn't going to leave. And so here's my ex-wife standing down in the corner with all the kids around her. Y'all kids be good.
That's an incredible story.
So I asked him, I said, "So when you're done with that, can I have it back?" He said, "If you want to pick it up in little pieces."
Oh, yeah. Because it would be a neat
Yeah,
souvenir.
he said,
if
"I
it
must
was
put."
dead.
Yeah, he's going to put C4 on the side of it and blow it up. He said, "Do you know that thing's more dangerous now than when they built it?"
Yeah.
How do you think it was? Was it
It's a World War II.
World War II?
Yeah,
Wow.
kind
It
of
was
drop down
down
in the
Yeah.
tube.
Well,
goes
they
off,
found-
it shoots up in there.
Exactly.
Has a little cap on top of it, sticks about that far.
Yeah.
When that cap comes down, because it's top heavy. Like if it fell off my counter, it would go, boom.
Yeah, that would be a problem. That would be a
Yeah,
problem.
that's what she said, but I didn't see no problem.
That's too good.
Yeah, but yeah, he took that from me. And little Timmy, that was little Timmy's find. Yeah, a mortar shell. What we could have done with that.
Y'all certainly brought the memories today.
Yeah,
I think you're
that's,
painting a really good picture of who Timmy is.
Timmy's.
Well, we
he
want to
had such
thank
a
you
heart,
for
man.
allowing us to come. You've been a blessing.
Well, and thanks for sharing that.
Timmy
that
could have
letter.
screamed my name loud enough. I'd have been there.
That letter is a gift. It's his words,
Yes.
it's his hands.
Yeah.
And in this modern age, how
That's
often
a-
we not have that?
It'll always
anymore?
be
I
there.
see little Timmy
Mhm.
sitting there writing that letter. I see his mind going. I see his posture. And that's what hurts me the most.
And I see him. I see the love that he put into Because that boy didn't know how to love. He knew how
Yeah, he did. He knew how to love. Huh.
Well, thank you, Sandy, and thank you, Terrance, for coming and sharing with us the memory of Timmy, who he is.
Yeah.
Again, I'll repeat.
Been great.
Somebody out there knows something, and our hope is that we can find you all answers. Hey, you know there's more to the story, so go download the next episode like the true crime fan that you are.
The Murder Police podcast is hosted by Wendy and David Lyons and was created to honor the lives of crime victims, so their names are never forgotten. It is produced, recorded, and edited by David Lyons. The Murder Police podcast can be found on your favorite Apple or Android podcast platform, as well as at murderpolicepodcast.com, where you will find show notes, transcripts, information about our presenters, and a link to the official Murder Police podcast merch store, where you can purchase a huge variety of Murder Police podcast swag. We are also on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, which is closed caption for those that are hearing impaired. Just search for the Murder Police podcast and you will find us. If you have enjoyed this podcast, please subscribe for more and give us 5 stars and a written review on Apple Podcasts or wherever you download your podcasts. Make sure you set your player to automatically download new episodes so you get the new ones as soon as they drop. And please tell your friends. Lock it down, Judy.